Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jay, and at the start of a brand new year it feels completely appropriate to get excited for the gaming landscape ahead. So I thought in this video I would share my top 5 most anticipated games of 2026. Now I will say off the bat that this list is going to be predominantly made up of, if not entirely made up of, big AAA titles. These are the big games that we are all anticipating and looking forward to this year, I'm sure. And there are no doubt many, if not hundreds more that I haven't listed here that people are excited about. And what I'd like you to do down in the comments, if I've missed a game that you're excited about or that you're anticipating in 2026, put it down below so I can add it to my list and I can check it out. But these are the big ticket items that have got me excited going into 2026. Now there are 2 honourable mentions I want to just get out there before I start my top 5 countdown. The first one of those is Halo Campaign Evolved. I did think about adding this into the list now, but I wasn't really sure that it necessarily warranted a place over the 5 that I've selected. If you don't know, Halo Campaign Evolved has been announced, but with no official release date this year, just targeting 2026. And it's a reimagining or a remake of the very original, very first Halo campaign. And it's doing so in Unreal Engine, and it seems to be a bit of a test for 343 Studios to see whether or not they can make a Halo game work in this new engine. So I must admit, back in the day, I didn't play a lot of the original Halo. I dipped in with Halo 1 and 2 on a friend's Xbox, but I really got into Halo as a series in Halo 3 when I bought it on the 360. So I would quite like to go back and play that original campaign, see what all the fuss was about, see where it all started. I know there's multiple ways to do that. There's the Master Chief Collection, there's the original, of course, and probably others that I'm not thinking of. But I thought when this was announced, this seemed like a good contender for me. I've been really getting into Halo recently. Keep an eye out for future videos that talk a bit more about that. And I just got excited for it. So that was one of the first ones I wanted to throw in here as an honourable mention. Not quite top 5 for me, but something I am looking forward to picking up this year, and will probably, controversially, pick it up on PlayStation if it ends up on that platform, which I'm pretty sure they've said it will be. The second honourable mention for me is Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, the remake. Now this is a weird one because there are some internet rumours as I'm researching and recording this that this may get dropped or shadow dropped maybe as early as the 16th of January. So maybe a couple of days earlier than this video goes out, but not at the point of recording has this been released or announced. Should also say that this game was announced in 2020. There was some horrific feedback to the way it looked and the way that it was coming across, and the devs took that release date away. They went back to work on it, and we haven't heard anything for 5 years. So what shape this game will be in if and when it releases, who knows. I'm hoping it will come this year. It's by no means guaranteed, but if it does come out, I would look forward to and enjoy replaying it. I really enjoyed Sands of Time on the PS2. I have really fond memories of experiencing that for the first time at an event called PlayStation Experience in London, and then getting to play that through, end to end when it was released and I bought it on my PS2. So if that gets remade, that for me could be a PS5 or it could be a Switch 2. It'd be a great little travel game just to pick up and work my way through when I'm on the move. So we'll see if it comes. Again, honourable mention, not sure it's going to happen. Let's wait and see. So let's get into the full list, and we're going to start with my number 5. So number 5 for me has got to be Gears of War E-Day. E-Day takes the iconic third-person shooter franchise back to where it all began, the very first emergence of the Locust Horde. Developed by the Coalition alongside People Can Fly, this prequel is set 14 years before the original Gears of War, thrusting players into the chaotic, terrifying events of Emergence Day on Sarah. With familiar faces like Marcus Fenix and Dom Santiago returning to face the initial onslaught, the game promises a gritty, grounded combination of the series' signature cover-based gunplay and fresh narrative depth rooted in survival horror. Built on Unreal Engine 5 and targeting Windows and Xbox Series X releases in 2026, E-Day is generating buzz for its promise to blend cinematic storytelling with ruthless action. Early reveals have emphasised atmospheric world building and intense battles that hark back to the franchise's roots, suggesting that E-Day could be both a tribute to longtime fans and a strong entry point for new players. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that Gears of War is a franchise that I hold very dear to my heart. It's the first trilogy were transformational for me back on the 360. I think the games have maybe lost their way a little bit into later generations, but that original trilogy and that story arc and the world that they built in Sierra, just top notch for me. So Gears of War E-Day, although a prequel, which typically I don't particularly enjoy, I am excited for. We've waited a long time for a mainline Gears game. I wasn't really into Gears 4 and 5 and the story they were telling there, although I would like to see them conclude that because they set something up at the end of 5, which they've not yet delivered on. So we'll see if they go back and do that. But Gears of War E-Day, let's see how the Locusts came to be. It's all about the emergence and the start of that massive war that we now know and love so much from the franchise. So that for me had to be number 5, and I'm very excited to play that at some point during this year, assuming it releases. Now again, where will I play that? I'm going to guess that's going to be an Xbox exclusive, at least to start with. So I'll probably play it there. That's where I've played and owned most of my Gears games, although I did buy Reloaded on the PS5 recently, and honestly, it just didn't feel right. I felt like a bit of a traitor. So I'll probably play that on the Xbox, but we'll see when it all comes out. So, with that said, let's talk about number 4. Number 4 may surprise a few of you, perhaps by virtue of the fact that it's not higher in my list. But number 4 for me is, of course, Grand Theft Auto 6. Grand Theft Auto 6 is arguably the most anticipated video game of 2026, marking the long-awaited return of Rockstar's flagship open-world crime saga nearly 13 years after GTA 5. Set in the fictional state of Leonida, featuring a vibrant modern take on Vice City, the narrative follows criminal duo Lucia Caminos and Jason Duval as they navigate heists, betrayals and survival in a sprawling living world. The game is designed to push the boundaries of open-world interactivity with improved AI systems, stealth mechanics and diverse biomes that promise to make exploration and story progression feel more dynamic than ever before. Originally slated for earlier release windows, GTA 6 has undergone several delays as Rockstar fine-tunes its vision, with a current target of 19th November 2026 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. While there's chatter in the community and development circles about the risk of further postponements, the consensus is that Rockstar is committed to delivering a polished, genre-defining experience that lives up to sky-high expectations. Across social channels and gaming forums, GTA 6 is widely tipped not just to be a blockbuster launch, but a benchmark for narrative depth and world design in the medium. Now for me, I dropped off Grand Theft Auto 5 quite a long time ago, but of course it's a 13-year-old game at this point, so we've all had a long time to enjoy and then drop off that. But I did get many happy hours out of it, not so much in the campaign for me, as I don't tend to play GTA single player too much, but the online, many hours were sunk into that. So I'm very excited for GTA 6. I think the whole world is excited for GTA 6, and the constant moving of its release dates and the will it, won't it is a big question mark. I do think there's every chance that this video will age badly and that the GTA 6 will get pushed to 2027. It's looking likely. As I said in the VO there is some rumours around that already happening, and it's now out as far as November, and even that's in question. But assuming it releases, of course, it's going to be the biggest game in the world when it does, and I'm sure we'll all stick some time into it. Like I said, I do like Grand Theft Auto. I get why everyone's so excited about it, and I am also excited about it. But I do think there are more interesting games coming this year, and for me personally, the world of GTA isn't as compelling as some of the more fantasy environments that I like to play my games in. But it's still up there, so Grand Theft Auto, number 4 for me. So let's talk about my number 3. So in at number 3 for me, and this was a late arrival in terms of announcements at the end of last year, it's Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis is set to breathe new life into one of gaming's most beloved adventure franchises. A reimagining of the original 1996 classic, this next generation reboot from Crystal Dynamics and Flying Wild Hog honours the spirit of Lara Croft's earliest exploits while expanding the world with modern visuals, refined traversal and evolved combat systems. Drawing players into exotic locales and from dense Amazonian jungles to the ancient ruins of the Mediterranean, the narrative follows a younger Lara as she hunts for the mythic scion of Atlantis, bringing fresh emotional stakes to her origin story. Powered by Unreal Engine 5 and targeting a 2026 window across PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and PC, Legacy of Atlantis aims to strike a balance between nostalgic exploration and contemporary design. Early reactions from reveal footage suggest that the game's puzzles, platforming and tomb-delving excitement are being realised with an ambitious scope that could make this one of the year's most memorable action-adventure experiences. With its blend of cinematic storytelling and classic franchise DNA, it's easy to see why fans old and new are counting down to this release. I've loved Tomb Raider ever since my early gaming days, playing that back on PC as it was for me, and then Sega Saturn randomly. But those early PlayStation games, Tomb Raiders 1, 2, 3, I kind of fell off a little bit after that and then dipped back in when we went into kind of the Xbox 360 era and some of the great games that came on there, and then the most recent trilogy. I've always enjoyed the adventures of Lara Croft, and when I saw the announcements for both 2026's Legacy of Atlantis and the 2027 original release that we're getting, I was super excited. I am very much looking forward to seeing that original Tomb Raider remade from the ground up, reimagined. Not sure about the feathered dinosaurs in the trailer, but I just have an issue with the whole feathered dinosaur thing anyway. I get that's probably more evolutionary correct, but to me, it's how they looked in Jurassic Park. That's how dinosaurs should look. Anyway, that's an aside. But yeah, Legacy of Atlantis, can't wait to try that out. Even watching the trailer before I knew what it was, there was just little nuggets that made you go, this feels very similar to the first one. And then of course the reveal was that it was a reimagining of the first one. And yeah, couldn't be more excited for that one. Whether it will land in 2026, I don't know. They didn't say when it's coming, just at some point this year. So we'll have to wait and see for a release date. But if it does land this year, I will be absolutely on top of my list to play. Very much can't wait to get back into some Tomb Raider goodness. So, 2 more left. Let's start with number 2. Now I've brought you over here to my little movie corner behind me, and you could be forgiven for thinking that my most anticipated game at number 2 was something related to this guy and Metal Gear Solid. It's not, just thought I'd get him into the video for a bit of fun. My number 2 is 007 First Light. 007 First Light marks the long-awaited return of James Bond to the world of video games, and it's shaping up to be one of the most intriguing releases of 2026. Developed by IO Interactive, the studio behind the Hitman series, First Light isn't just another licensed tie-in. It's a fully fledged action-adventure title offering an original Bond origin story, where players step into the shoes of a younger, untested 007 as he earns his license to kill within MY6. The game blends stealth, cinematic storytelling, high-octane chases and spycraft across exotic locales, giving fans a fresh perspective on the iconic spy's early career. After years without a major Bond game following 007 Legends in 2012, First Light is poised to be a standout release thanks to its narrative ambition and IO Interactive's pedigree. Originally set for a March launch, the release has been pushed to 27th May 2026 to allow extra time for polish, but anticipation remains high as players look forward to stylish espionage action on PS5, Xbox Series X, PC and Nintendo Switch 2. With promises of deep character moments, gadgets and the refined mechanics fans expect from IOI, this feels like the start of a new era for Bond in gaming. Now, a bit of a shock confession from me, I have never played the Hitman games. I am very excited to start the more recent ones. I bought the trilogy on PS5 recently and I cannot wait to give that a go. I've watched so much content with people playing it, talking about it, doing different kind of attempts and challenges on that game that I am super excited to give it a go at some point. It's in the backlog. But 007, we haven't had a good one, a good James Bond game for such a long time. GoldenEye still remains my favourite #1 Bond experience, but it's probably through rose-tinted spectacles. But this looks great. I reacted to the trailer on the channel late last year, and I am really excited and hopeful that in the hands of IO Interactive, we've got the right studio that can do a James Bond game justice. We've got, again, a bit of a prequel tale here, but it's a little bit different with Bond than perhaps my comment on prequels earlier. This, for me, could be a really exciting game if they pull it off. So far, it looks great. Trailers look great. First impressions from the industry seems to be really good. Well, let's hope when it lands that we get the gaming experience we're hoping for. It was originally slated for February. It's now May, so not too long to wait. Just a few months for 007 First Light. Which then brings me to my #1. And my #1 really only could be one game, based on my love of 90s Marvel cartoons and comic books, my love of Marvel games over the years, and one specifically on the Xbox 360. And my number one, of course, is Insomniac's Wolverine. After the runaway success of Insomniac's Marvel's Spider-Man games, Marvel's Wolverine is shaping up to be one of 2026's most intriguing exclusives. Developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, this action-adventure retells the story of James Logan Howlett, diving deep into the mutant's more feral, brutal side and embracing the character's comic book roots. With heightened sensory combat, visceral storytelling and appearances from major figures like Mystique and Omega Red, the game promises to deliver a darker, more intense experience than many superhero titles before it. What's particularly exciting about Wolverine is how it ties into Insomniac's broader Marvel universe while standing firmly on its own. Built exclusively for PlayStation 5 and slated for a late 2026 window, this entry aims to expand the emotional and mechanical depth seen in previous Insomniac projects. Fans are hopeful that the blend of blockbuster set pieces, character-driven narrative and cutting-edge visuals will make Wolverine a genuine highlight of the year, and potentially the first in a new trilogy of X-Men titles. So again, I reacted to the trailer for this game last year over on the channel, and I couldn't be more excited for this. Insomniac haven't put a foot wrong, in my opinion at least, with the last 3 Spider-Man games, which I have played all 3 cover to cover and completed, something I do not do very often with any of my games, as regular watchers will know. So the fact that they are now tackling one of my favourite Marvel characters, and by all accounts taking inspiration from and trying to deliver a better experience than the Xbox 360 Wolverine's X-Men Origins game, just has me super excited. We haven't had a good Wolverine game for a very, very long time. We haven't had a good X-Men game really for quite a long time. And growing up for me, Spider-Man and the X-Men were my gateway into Marvel. I know for many people now in the later generations it was the Avengers and it's the MCU, but for me, back in the 90s it was the X-Men cartoon, it was the Spider-Man cartoon, and those were the characters I fell in love with. And of course Wolverine was a massive part of the X-Men cartoon back in the day. So the trailer looks great. We've got Sentinels, we've got lots of slashing and cutting and gore, which is what you need for a Wolverine game. And again, Insomniac, well known for traversal and the way that their characters move. I know Wolverine's going to be a bit different to Spider-Man. We're not going to be flying around New York here, but I hope it means that he'll feel agile, which he should feel, and he'll feel aggressive. And you know, he'll be fun to control, fun to use. I'm sure the story will be great. Again, the 3 Spider-Man games, as well as their other catalogue of games, they rarely put a foot wrong as a studio. Just has me super duper excited. So yeah, so Wolverine is my number 1. Those are my top 5 games for 2026, and I would love to know down in the comments what you're looking forward to this year. You know, have I got the best 5 there, or is there something I've missed and you're sitting there screaming at the TV or your phone, why haven't you added this game, Jay? So let me know down below, what do you think should be in the top most anticipated games of the year? Or just let me know your most anticipated games. It doesn't have to be an exclusive list, does it? These are my opinions and my most excited games. I'd love to know what yours are too. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you've gotten this far, then I have a little secret for you as well. So most people don't watch till the very end, and certainly in numbered lists tend to drop off once they've heard about 1 through 5. So if you've been watching this long, you may have noticed that some of the VO about the games earlier on, especially, well, only over the gaming footage, was perhaps slightly off. That wasn't really me. Well, it was sort of me. I was having a play around with a product called 11 Labs where you can voice clone, and I fed it 2 or 3 hours worth of my clean YouTube footage, audio, sorry, and I created a clone of my voice. And I won't be doing this very often. This is not something I'm going to put into all my videos, or maybe any, again, if the reaction is poor. But I just thought I'd have a mess around and just try it out and see whether anyone noticed. So there may be some angry comments in the comments below about the fact that the voiceover sounded that AI generated, and maybe they didn't get this far and hear the confession. It absolutely was. Just a bit of fun though. I have played this to a lot of people who know me well and are used to my voice, and I think it's scarily accurate. And although I will acknowledge that some of the words that the AI pronounced, especially Marcus Phoenix, which is clearly not right, were a bit off. So anyway, keep your pitchforks away. I'm not going to be doing this regularly. If ever again, I just want to have a little bit of fun, try it out, and see how many of you actually made it this far to hear the secret. If you did hear the secret, comment down below, secret, and we'll see how many people understand what the hell you're on about. Anyway, thanks a lot for your time. Like and subscribe as I mentioned before. Get involved in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next video.